Hey, what's up? How are you guys? It's been a couple weeks, but I wanted to do a video to kind of give you guys an update on Legend Bowl. I've been busy working on the game. I've been trying to do different things. And if you're wondering what this is all around here, this is just my chat. This is my stream chat. And this little tree right up here, this is just to keep the air fresh, right? But in all seriousness, this is a video about Legend Bowl and where I'm at with the game, what I've been working on, what I've been doing, and just wanted to update you guys live so you guys can see what's going on. Now this overlay here, I just wanted to try it out, so I'm going to switch it over to what I've been kind of messing around with today. But I wanted to, before I get to this, I wanted to talk to you guys about what I've been working on and kind of how I got to this point. So if I rewind way back the timeline to when I started with Legend Bowl, obviously it was basically, let me go back. It was basically a fresh game from scratch, right? I started out in Game Maker Studio and I worked on, what it takes to build a game from scratch, right? And it was my first game, my first time using Game Maker Studio 2, blah, blah, blah. And long story short, it took a while, and it takes a while. I mean, games don't happen overnight. So anybody out there who thinks that games should be done quickly, especially like a football game or a sports game, no, doesn't work that way. Just doesn't work that way. So you guys have heard me say that before, and I'm going to tell you again, it just takes a lot of time. And especially if you want to make it good and you want to make it somewhat simulation, if you want to call it simulation, right? But realistically, what I've done is I've built the game from scratch. Obviously, I had to get sprites in the game, had to get art for the game, had to get music for the game, built the dimensions of the field. How do you get a ball to be thrown in the air? How does it bounce? How does a person catch the ball? How do you do different animations? How do you get a player to run and dive and tackle and all these different collisions that are happening? And there's so many things that I can go into, the menus, the career mode. I mean, there's so many different things you can do and so many different routes you can take when you're working on a game. And the bulk of my time has been on the gameplay because I'm a firm believer that the gameplay has to be good. If it's not good, you don't have anything, right? But then after 2.5 years or 2 years or so, I've been kind of working on it for 2 years now, consistently. And basically the bulk of those 2 years has been on gameplay and building the game up from the ground up, right? And also I took some time to over a year ago, year and a half ago, I basically started over. And I took a lot of the old sprites and things and I started with a brand new project and it's brand new state system. And they call it finite state systems, right? And what that means is like players know when to jump or be idle or dive. I mean, there's different states that you can be in, right? But the point is that I worked on a lot of gameplay, right? And I got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I've been working on this gameplay for so long that I got to move on to something else, because if I don't, then I'm never going to release the game, because all I'm going to have is gameplay and I'm not going to have any modes to play. You won't be able to play a season, nothing, right? So I switched over to actually playing, or actually not playing, feels like you're playing, but you're not, coding and building the career mode. Because I'm like, wait a second, I got to get a career mode in this game. I got to get some modes. So I went ahead and I deviated my path and I went over to career mode, and I was working on that for like a month and a half. And I'm like, you know what? Even though I have career mode, I know I have a lot to do with my gameplay. So I went back to the gameplay, right? Because at the end of the day, the gameplay has to be finished. Number one. Number two, it has to have little to no bugs at all. And then it has to be able to be good. You want to play the game and you want to feel good on the field, right? And even if I have to release it and I have no modes, at least I have a decent game on the field. So I decided to go back to the gameplay. And over the past few weeks, I haven't really done a video, haven't done an update on the game, partly because time. I'm going to slow down on these videos. I'm probably going to do one of these every once in a while just to keep you guys updated, because making a video and cutting up a video and editing a video and post and pre-production and all that stuff just takes so much time. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try not to. And instead, I'm going to take my time and focus on my game. So what I've been working on as of late, over the past few weeks, I've been working on AI, and I've been working on trying to get the gameplay bugs out of the game, trying to build somewhat of a demo for the beta that's coming up. And if you haven't signed up for that, I'll leave a link in the description below so you guys can go ahead and sign up. The signups are on Discord. Just leave your interest on there and tell me why you think you should be a beta tester. We're going to be doing multiple rounds. I've talked about that in my other videos. You can check those out. But in any event, I've been working on trying to get the beta put together. And I've also been working on gameplay. So what you can see in this screen here, I'm going to go back to the screen. This is like an AI system that I'm trying to work on, where one of the things I'm trying to do is get the power, the kick power and the throw power and the accuracy, right? So for your QBs and for your kickers, whether they're kicking a field goal or they're throwing the ball, you have to predict. And even for as a human, when you push to throw the ball, I'm trying to get some new elements in the game. And part of it is the AI and trying to get the AI to use the skills that the player has, right? And I want to get an even distribution or a good distribution, because if you're, like in this case, you're an 80, I don't know if you can see it up here, but you're an 80 skill level up here. What happens when, you go to throw the ball, right? And this is basically, these things here are your skills, right? So you got 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and it goes all the way up to 99. I might flip these around. I might move them around a little bit, but the idea is to get your skill level and then do some distribution left and right, up and down, probably more down than up, because you don't want a guy who's a 50 to be able to throw, but you might be able to, like an 80, right? So the skill level goes from 0 to 99, right? And in this case, the guy's an 80. So what I'm doing here is I'm saying go down 10, right? And go down like 3 and go up 3. So go down to 70, 60, and 50, and then go to 90. If it was 50, it would be 60, 70, 80, right? But I'm capping it at 99. And what you do is whenever it runs, like this is a simulation, like whenever it runs, I want to, the green bar here, I'm going to want to pull out whatever the throw power and throw accuracy numbers are based on your skill level. And then also there's some of it that's based on whether you're running, like when you're throwing the ball, whether you're running or you're standing, you get a little bit more bonus points because you're standing versus running. Running, you get some points taken off. But the idea is if you're an 80, you don't always want to throw at an 80 level, right? And there's always going to be a little bit of randomness, right? But this is something I want to work on, because I want them to throw at an 80 level around there most of the time, like 70%, 60% of the time. But then there's other times where I want them to be either a 60, right? Like here you got a 60, back to 80, 80. Now they're down to 70, 80, 70. That one was a 50 here. This one's a 99. I want the majority of them to be in this range, and then I want them to also have some outliers that will, cover the spectrum. And so that's what I'm working on. So if you go ahead and bump this up to a 99 level, right? 99, this guy's going to be 99, all the way up to 92, 82. I think it's actually higher than a 99. So now so now it's about 10 under. And basically he should be shooting to 99 or 90, somewhere in that range the majority of the time. And then every once in a while, he's going to pop off into the lower numbers, as you can see here, right? And that's what I'm trying to work on today. I'm trying to just tune this out a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this and I'm going to port this over to the actual game. So I'm going to turn the game on real quick just so you guys can see and look at part of what I've been doing. So right now I'm working on the kickoff. And a large part of what I've been doing also is working on the wind, right? Like I have wind that I prototyped way back in January. But then to go ahead and get it in the game, that's a whole different story, right? So I know I'm sharing with you guys a lot of stuff here. This video is very dry and cut. So just, hang in there. And if you're still around, then this is basically what this is just an update on what I've been working on, right? So if we go back to the actual game here, I'm going to show you guys just quickly, nothing fancy, but just how this plays into the kicking game, right? And like I was just saying, I was working on the wind and the ball effects. The wind didn't have any effect on the ball until now, right? So tuning all of that and making sure that the wind is not too strong or too weak, and making sure that the ball is being respected, right? The wind's being respected, all that stuff looks and feels good. It just takes time, right? So I'm not going to put any sound on. I'm just going to run it like this, and I'm going to go ahead and just go down to the kickoff mode, and I'm going to let the computer kick off here. And right now I'm trying to test not only the AI stuff that I was just showing you, but I'm also trying to test the wind, right? So if you can look on the top right, I can adjust the wind up and down, and I'm going to go ahead and adjust it like to 25 miles per hour or so. 20. Let's do like 25, just some crazy number. And then let's go ahead and bump the wind a little bit to the right here. So now it's kind of in your face and to the right, right? So it's going up and left, northeast, right? So what I expect to happen is the ball should kind of be a little bit short and a little bit to the right. Now, I got a break point here. Let me just pass that. And as you can see, the ball's kind of moving. You see how it's moving a little bit short and right. So the wind is actually being represented here. And I think it's starting to feel pretty good. I mean, that's a 25, 29, 28 mile an hour wind, right? Now, if I take it and I dumb it down to like 10 miles per hour, we're going to see that same exact wind and that same exact effect. And we're going to see how that changes the ball, right? So now I know I started the video with, see, it's not that bad now. It's not as drastic, but it still moved. And a lot of the games nowadays, they don't do this. They don't give you the feeling of wind. And if you're going to have wind in the game, well, God darn it, use it, right? Use the wind, because if you don't, you're just wasting my time. You're wasting the feature that you have in the game, right? So now if I want to bring it up a little bit, and let's say we want to go ahead and just move it the other direction now, or let's just move it a little bit like downhill. Like, let's see if we can give the guy some, let's just do a 20 mile an hour wind, 21 mile an hour wind. And let's see if the ball will go like in the end zone deep. I mean, it depends on how he's kicking it too. And my AI is not perfect yet, so I don't know how well they're going to kick based on their ratings. I mean, that was a pretty deep kick, but you see, he kicked it so far, the ball went basically out of bounds because the wind, right? So wind is going to affect the kicking in the game. It's going to affect the throwing in the game. But at the end of the day, it comes down to AI, and it comes down to how you are randomly or logically choosing what kind of accuracy and power your QBs and your kickers have, and even anybody on the field. It could be your receivers, how they catch the ball. I have ratings in there that will drop the catch if you don't have enough skill, right? And randomly it'll drop it, and it'll drop it more for people who with less skill than people that have a higher catching skill. So this is what I've been working on, guys. This is what I've been trying to tune. I've been trying to get, better. I've been trying to improve. And I'm really trying to make an effort to look at the wind, how it's pushing that ball, push it all the way down into the end zone. And I don't think that was a great kick, right? The power on that kick was a 32 out of 39, which is the bar length. But whatever, at the end of the day, this video is just a quick update for you guys. I don't want to get too technical. I don't want to show you guys, more stuff than you need to see, or, waste too much time. But I wanted to give you an update, share with you what I've been doing, tell you guys I've been busy. I'm going to continue to be busy. So stay tuned on my YouTube channel. Keep an eye out. The focus right now is gameplay. Career mode is on the shelf right now. I've done a good amount of work, but it's on the shelf. So it's going to be gameplay. It's going to be getting the gameplay up, getting the gameplay improved. Let's see if I bump this up a little bit to 24. I don't know if I caught it in time. He shanked it, and it still went deep into the end zone. Now we're going to do one more when this is over. I'm going to put like a 30-mile-an-hour wind and just see. But it's looking pretty good. And I don't even have the good AI in there yet. The one I just showed you with the bars. That's not even in yet. Let's do a 40-mile-an-hour wind. Let's just see what happens for fun. I would expect this to go out of the end zone. I mean, I don't care how. I would expect it to go deep. Yeah, out of the end zone. You see that? So, and then I'm going to do one where it's going in your face 40 miles an hour just to see like what does a, can I get to 90? There we go. All right, let's put it basically dead in your face, 40-mile-an-hour wind. And I could do an entire video on this. I just could. And let's see how bad it's going to be. Look, it's dead in your face. It's almost coming backwards. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. So I'm going to leave you guys with this. Hope you guys enjoyed the update. Hope you enjoyed the video. The game is coming. The game is going to be here at some point. So stay tuned. This is what I'm working on. This is the kind of stuff that I'm dealing with. And if this is what you like, stay tuned for another video because I'm going to be doing more of these when I get a chance. They're going to be quick. They're going to be live. And they're going to be direct. Stay safe, guys. I'll catch you next time. Peace.